I've mentioned before my anxiety towards ordering food in a foreign place. Not that there's a fear in what I'll receive. Put just about any food in front of me and I'll eat it. I may question it, despise it, or regret it, but I'll eat it. No, my worry is, do I need to ask for the check? What if my US credit card won't work on their system? Do I have enough cash? Where's the nearest ATM? Can I remember my PIN? Websites and guidebooks will give you a false comfort on what to expect, but in practice, nothing goes according to plan. But there is one place where you can always rely on, and their golden arches typically beckon at least once during a trip. Yes, I feel ridiculous going to an American fast food chain abroad, but when you're exhausted, tired of searching, and you want the comfort of knowing what you're going to get, I surrender to a Big Mac and Coke, and I don't regret it for a second. Of course, there are some destinations where McDonald's don't exist. Today we'll explore Iceland. At 40,000 square miles, with a population of 360,000 people, it's the most sparsely populated country in Europe. For comparison, the city of Aurora is estimated to have over 380,000 people in just a little under 160 square miles. It's one of the few countries where McDonald's didn't work out. It was replaced with a local chain, and yes, we did try it. The island was first settled in 874 AD by the Norwegians. It's governed by the world's oldest surviving parliament. The country was under Norwegian rule starting in the 13th century and finally under Danish rule in 1523, who introduced the country to Lutheranism. The main language is Icelandic, one of the most intact Norse languages because of the island's isolation. Today, English is taught and is very common. The country has a unique system for people's names. Surnames, or what we might call last names, are based on the name of the father or the mother. For example, if your father was John, then you would be John's son. This in itself isn't so unusual, but in an effort to maintain Icelandic language and culture, names are maintained in an official government registry and new names must be approved by a committee. Iceland first gained independence in 1918 and was founded as a republic in 1944. Until very recently, fishing was the predominant industry. Iceland has no standing army, though it is part of NATO. The US had provided defense on the island until 2006. Music is an important part of Icelandic culture. Again, for a country with a population smaller than Aurora, they have created international stars such as Björk, Sigur Rós, and Of Monsters and Men. Take an opportunity to listen to some of these artists. You won't be disappointed. The capital is Reykjavik, where about 2/3 of the population live. Reykjavik is the northernmost capital in the world. It's played host to some famous moments in history. There was the 1986 summit between Reagan and Gorbachev, which could have led to the destruction of all nuclear weapons. The summit was held in this building, which was both the former French consulate and former British embassy. In 1972, the country played host to the Chess World Championship between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. Interestingly enough, the hotel we stayed at held a memento from that event, the chess table they played on. The Government of Iceland consists of a Prime Minister, head of government, and a President, head of state. It was amazing that you could walk right up to the Prime Minister's office, and just as surprisingly, you could drive up to the President's house. It appeared the US Embassy was probably the most protected building in the city. Hallgrímskirkja, and please forgive my pronunciation, is a Lutheran church in the heart of town, commissioned in 1937. The building is supposed to resemble the Icelandic landscape. It took 41 years to build, from 1945 till 1986. The country has freedom of religion, but the Lutheran Church of Iceland is the state church. In front of the church stands a statue of Leif Eriksen, a Norse explorer from Iceland. He was the first known European to set foot on North America before Christopher Columbus. Ancient tradition still plays a large part, and that can be seen with the Huldufolk, which are hidden people or mythical elves that live behind rocks. Over 45% of the population believe they exist. If you happen to be in Iceland from October 9th until December 8th, you can see the Imagined Peace Tower, a memorial to John Lennon from Yoko Ono. The dates signify his birthday till the day he was killed. Imagine Peace is carved in 24 languages on the base. The light can be seen up to 13,000 feet. Geothermal energy is used to power the light and was a big reason for choosing Iceland for its construction. Iceland sits between two continental plates. The movement of these two plates makes Iceland volcanically active. A popular tourist site is Thingvellir National Park, which was the site where the Icelandic Parliament was founded in 930 AD and assembled every summer till 1798. This parliament is recognized as the world's oldest parliament. At the site, you will find the continental drift between the North American and Eurasian plates. Iceland is very thermally active. The country runs on almost 100% renewable energy. There are hundreds of volcanoes, of which 30 are currently active. In the late 1700s, volcanic activity caused a famine which killed 50% of the livestock and 25% of the population. We get the word geyser from the geyser, meaning gush, hot spring. The geyser with this name is mostly inactive now. Strokr, the more impressive geyser on the site, has about a 50-foot eruption every 6 to 10 minutes. It's not quite Yellowstone. You can walk much closer and on the ground, something you don't really encounter at our national park. Because of the geothermal activity, public hot springs are common and very important to the culture. They take showering seriously before entering to ensure the cleanliness of the water. A popular location is the Blue Lagoon, a hot springs fed with geothermal runoff from a nearby power site. Silica in the area makes the water blue and is used as a treatment for psoriasis. It was an expensive experience, but well worth the cost. Nature is the real reason to visit, so renting a car made the island much more accessible. Roads were interesting, bridges were single lane, and there's only one highway around the country. But the sights were phenomenal. There were multiple waterfalls that are shared in movies, such as Gullfoss and Skogafoss, though they were far more impressive in person. Further down the road, you found beautiful black sand beaches. Temperatures in the country aren't as drastic as you might think, 50s in the summer, 30s in the winter, but I will say that the placement of the sun made it feel like it was constantly 4 p.m. The time of year that we visited, October, allowed us to witness one of the most magical spectacles of nature, an Aurora Borealis. Also known as the Northern Lights, this phenomenon is caused by solar winds in the magnetosphere, altering the trajectories of charged particles which precipitate into the upper atmosphere, causing ionization, emitting colors. This occurs closer to the poles. Iceland was not our normal trip. We like cities, big cities, and Reykjavik is a departure from that. It was easy to get to with a non-stop flight from Denver and an airline that even owns the hotel. There's no question it's beautiful, and when we visited, it was peaceful and quiet. But times have changed, and now I have to wonder if that would no longer be the case. We are two people who like to be on the go at all times, and this was a trip to help slow us down. If you love nature, it's well worth the journey. Thanks for joining us again today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. We look forward to sharing another destination with you soon.